Everyone, hope you're well. Episode 1, A New Hope. I mean, technically, The Phantom Menace is episode 1, so that joke's a bit redundant. But anyway, it's episode 1 of the Shaped Through Fate podcast. My guest today is Josh. He sings in a band called A New Hope. I've been lucky enough to have seen this band live a few times, and I've got to know them. They're really good in my opinion, and this is what they sound like. So yeah, enjoy the episode. All their links will be in the description of the YouTube video. Audio only. Go and find at A New Hope UK on Instagram and Facebook. Remember to check out shapedthroughfate.com. Let me know any feedback because this is the first one. So if we're going to change it, now's probably the time. Cheers for listening. Enjoy. Shaped Through Fate podcast. Josh George from A New Hope.
Hello.
Hello, how are we doing?
Good, all good. Good to be here. Thank you for having me on.
You are the first, so...
The first of many, I hope.
Yeah, it's either going to go tits up, but it does mean that we get the chance to set any traditions.
Oh, okay. We're going to set some traditions. That's fine by me.
Well, I guess the best place to start is you're currently in a band called A New Hope. Is that your only band? Or has that been your only band?
No, I played in bands all my life. From when I was probably 12 years old. I think I was in a band called Watershed. When I was 12, we used to rent out village halls and play to our mates with Metallica cover bands and stuff like that. We wrote our own material, but it was pretty bad. I'm pretty sure whatever it was we liked at the time was flavour of the month. So probably one year we'd be playing really bad rap metal around the time that Limp Bizkit and Kennedy's soundtrack were out, and then we probably graduated onto some other stuff and moved through that for ages. And then I was in several other bands from that, all with weird names. Nightfall to Finish, Tiger Junction Street.
Always a singer, or did you play?
I used to play bass. I played bass for years, actually. I played bass until I joined Tigers at Junction Street. All the way up to that, I used to play bass and sing. I used to love doing that, actually. But then, I don't know what it was. I've never been, traditionally musical in the way that I can't really read music or anything like that. I don't really understand scales and notes. I was pretty bad at writing bass, lines. So a guitarist used to kind of write a basic bass line, but I was quite good at then kind of expanding on that and playing around with it. So I knew where, the root notes had to be. I'd kind of write from that. So a guitarist would kind of be here's the root notes, this is where you would play, here's the positions on the bass, and then I'd kind of just move on from that. But yeah, when I stopped playing bass, I tried to pick up a bass a couple of months ago, just to have a little twang on it during lockdown again. It was absolutely fucking atrocious.
Fair enough. So then...
I wouldn't do it again now.
I want to see that. Next time we meet up, you're slapping the bass for me.
I'll do that, of course. If you want to see just something truly terrible, I'll do that for you.
We'll go in a room, just me and you, and if anyone asks, we're just going in there for a slap.
That's fine. None of the people we know will question that at all.
To be fair, they won't. They'll be like, that's perfectly normal.
Yeah, let them go. They'll be back in a bit.
So on to A New Hope then.
Yes.
Were A New Hope a band when you joined, or was it from the ground up?
No, it wasn't. From the ground up, it wasn't really even a band. So before we met you guys, I'm trying to think, we kind of met you really at the kind of start of us making music. We haven't been doing it for that long, I guess, across the board. But when I moved from Buckinghamshire to Hereford, where I used to live, when I lived in Bucks, I was in a band called Tigers at Junction Street. We did a weekender with a band called This Is Shark Country, which had Jamie and Ben, who were in A New Hope in. And we did a weekender and a couple of other shows and stuff, and got on with them weirdly enough that they kind of remembered us. And Jamie said, I've always kind of wanted to do something a bit more kind of pop punky, but still heavy. If you're interested, let me know. And I said, yeah, if you ever do it, hit me up. And I think after I've been in Hereford for probably Christ, I must have been here for 5 years, maybe 5 years probably. He messaged me out of the blue and was like, can you maybe do some demos for us on some music we've got? I said, yeah, come up for the weekend. If you want to live in Hereford now, it's about an hour and a half from you. Let's do it. And at the time, I was renting this weird fucking house with a couple of my mates that had this giant sofa pit in it. Have you ever seen have you ever seen the film Sexy Beast with Ben Kingston and Brit?
I can't say I have. I can imagine a sofa pit. I don't know.
Yeah, this weird kind of East End London gangster style thing. I'm not sure why the owner had it in there, but yeah, I brought them to my house, which at the time had this giant sofa pit in the middle of this cavernous living room and looked like some kind of really dodgy porn set, and I recorded a couple of New Hope demos, and it just went from there. So yeah, that's the history of it.
So you say because we played shows in, I can't remember, it must have been January 2018 or 2019. I can't even remember.
2019.
So if at that point you'd not been going very long, and I did have this written down as a point I was going to make, how were you already banned from one of the venues on that run? Because I remember it was us, Priest, the Pilots, and you, and we were booked for Bournemouth, London, and Newbury, and you couldn't play the London show because you were banned from it. I realised why you were banned from it after playing there.
Yeah.
Is there any more to that story, or were you just too loud?
Yes. No, it was it's in Chelsea, wasn't it? I've forgotten what it's called now. It's on the edge of Chelsea. And what's the venue called? 'Cause I'm happy to name and shame those pricks. Now, as I'll just say now, as a venue, the bar staff, all lovely. The guys who were there, there was no problem with anyone there. But we turned up, and that was probably the first run of shows we did. Really, it was on the first run of shows that we were doing. We'd done maybe a couple in the summer before, and we're just trying to get into kind of doing shows at the time. We went to do our sound check. I think the same thing that you did. Chris, obviously, normally you sound check the drums first. Drums came on. Chris was just hitting them, just doing, hitting the toms, hitting the kick, hitting the cymbals. And then obviously the sound tech guy's like, right, can you just play the kit, work the kit for a couple of minutes? Let's just dial it all in and see where we're at. So he starts hitting the kit, and within like 10 seconds, this dude comes bowling down the stairs, because it's a subterranean venue in the basement, and he's just like, whoa, guys, that is too loud. You can't play drums like that. Can you play them quietly, please? And we're there like, what? He's like, yeah, can you play it all? Can you play it all really quietly, please? Because upstairs is a bar, and then above that is a theatre, and it's just going to disturb the performances in the theatre, like between two floors apparently, if we were playing drums down there. I mean, I don't really know why I do know we got barred for it actually, but like, it's unrelated.
It's because you were too loud, obviously.
It's because we were too loud. The dude basically, we said that after that we spoke for a little bit, and we had a lot of backing tracks and stuff even at that point that we kind of played, and during the sound check and stuff like that, it was just super. It's like Sheen was trying to hit the drums like softly with a drumstick, just as you can imagine if you're a drummer. It's just, especially like for kind of the kind of band we are. So we're like, are you sure you know what kind of bands are playing tonight? Because it's we're not really the heaviest band that's here. And we certainly weren't the loudest, so bet we didn't know what was going to happen. Anyway, we said, look, guys, we're not going to play tonight. We just think it's just kind of stupid to try and play the drum kit quietly and have to have everything dialed down like we're playing like an acoustic show. If you wanted us to do that, we'd happily do it, but we need to know beforehand because we've not got all the right kit for it. Anyway, neither here nor there. We stayed for the rest of the show. We didn't like do the classic arsehole band thing of fucking off after like as soon as you've done your set or whatever like that. I think we were meant to be on third or second, and we stayed to the end anyway. And I think Brady was driving because he does a lot of the driving for the band. Everyone else got real drunk, so we must have pumped probably like 150 quid into the bar because it's like Chelsea prices. It's not cheap. So they not only did we do the right thing to stand around and watch the other bands, and we're like, obviously because we're absolutely smashed, we're all like hooting and hollering, being like super supportive of these people anyway. But then I think like towards the end of the evening, the bar manager was getting kind of, the dude's just stood there in this big like kind of like faux fur jacket with like a large XL glass of like white wine and this massive like top loader carrot hairstyle. Like I was just like, fucking hate this dude. And I think the actual reason we got banned was because Chris Sheen was vaping inside. He was being pretty discreet, but obviously he shouldn't have been doing it. And I think that they said, obviously, it's no smoking venue regardless of what you're doing. And then I think because the bar manager got annoyed about that, at the time we had a temporary guitarist because Ben was having his first kid, Ash, who was playing for us, and Ash messaged the bar manager on Facebook Messenger, real pissed at like 3 a.m. Probably just calling him a or something like that.
Yeah, because we had that problem. So we sound checked there, and the guy came running down. He's like, "No, there's an open mic night on the second floor, so you can't make noise like that." And
they know what bands they're fucking booking there, like.
And Isaac said, "Well, look how many people are down here putting money behind the bar, and there's like 2 upstairs. Like, surely you should focus down here." So we just went on, and we're like, if we get kicked off, it's going to be like rock as fuck. Like getting kicked off for being too loud.
Fucking stage, like, being too loud.
Absolute Spinal Tap moment, yeah. I'll go down swinging.
In retrospect, we should have played because the other bands that were playing, all lovely guys, the Visitors, I think, have just broken up, and I can't remember the other band, but they were like really nice guys and girls, like really good as well. They just played their music at whatever volume they wanted, and no one complained. And I think because the bar was pumping and like they were making money, he kind of realised that there's obviously a lot of like upstairs there were it was pretty sparsely populated by some probably well-to-do Chelsea couples there in their power suits and having some cocktails. And it's definitely not the right ambience for them if they can hear a load of raucous shit from below. But like you don't. Well, surely you do some research on what bands are playing in your venue before you start leasing it out to them, right?
Yeah,
I
would have thought as well.
Like, after.
As soon as all you had to do was go in the room and see, there's about 60 people down here. I've got 2 people at the main bar.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell the 60 people that they can't have a good time and the band's got to turn down. It makes no sense to me.
No, I think the guy was just a fucking wally, to be honest. Like, that's probably the politest way. So
yeah, maybe we'll go back. We'll go back and be like, all right, we got unfinished business, mate. We're not here for a gig.
Maybe we should do our own kind of interpretive dance in the theatre section at the top floor above and lease that out. But obviously it's just all us blundering around like a bunch of idiots, ruining the time of the people below. See if he comes and tells us to turn it down.
I wanted to go up there. They wouldn't let me up there. So I don't know what's up there. I know it was...
There's a theatre. Yeah, there's a theatre on the top. We did go up there because we thought that's where we were playing originally, because it's not advertised. There's a venue below. There's just the bar and then stairs up, and I was like, it's got to be above.
Right, yeah.
So there's a cool little stage up there, actually. It's a decent little spot.
Yeah, I wanted to have a look, but they locked the door for some reason. I'm assuming it's because there was nothing on. They don't want idiots just running around in the theatre. I'm going to try and bring this tradition in, because I know Frank, our guitar player, loves a venue toilet. Like, he will rate venue toilets. So, of the venues you've played, what's had the worst toilet?
Fucking hell, Suburbia, Southampton, for sure, man. Suburbia as a venue is sick, like a really good venue. Like, really like playing there. But the toilets, every time we've played there, it's been like after a club night.
Oh.
And it just like, oh man, the last time we went there, like there's only one cubicle in the male toilets, and a kind of standard big urinal trough. And the big urinal trough was blocked with sick still. This is the following day at like fucking 7 o'clock at night. And the fucking toilet had shit all over the fucking walls and floor in there.
I don't think I actually went in the toilets there.
Well, how did you go for a whole show without going for a wee?
Because I think we went to get food, so I then took my opportunity to go then.
Clever man. Clever man.
I think, so from what I remember, Frank's favourite is the Sanctuary in Basingstoke.
Yeah, I mean, that place is pretty rough as well, to be honest with you.
Because you play on the floor and the toilet is literally behind the stage, and the door was broken.
Come in and out.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I think when we played there, the door was fixed still, so like that wasn't too bad. But if it's broken, that's even worse. It's just people having a piss in there while you're doing your set on the floor in front of them.
We'll move away from toilets now.
Please do. I've just had my fruit and fibre, mate. I don't know if I want to talk about it.
We'll talk about bands or the band. So, I mean, one of the questions, and I've always mentioned it because it's just like a built-in joke, is A New Hope a Star Wars reference?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it could be like our favourite Vanna album. They have an album called A New Hope.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
See, I'm more clued up on geeky Star Wars and music, so...
Well, yeah, I'm definitely more of a Star Wars fan. No, it's 100% a Star Wars. We had a load of names in the pot, and I think basically... at the time, I think it was just me, Ben, and Jamie in the band. We hadn't got Chris, Brady, or Ali at the time recruited in to do any of the stuff, so it was just the 3 of us working on it. And I think Jamie wanted to call it that, I think. And we were all like, yeah, that's cool, we love Star Wars, so let's do it. Little did we know that, like, obviously, it's a terrible thing to call yourself, because if you type A New Hope into any kind of search engine or anything online, it just brings up Star Wars clips and Star Wars references. So if you're actually trying to find our band on anything other than Spotify, it's a fucking nightmare. So... yeah, I think in later years when we were trying to like get a bit of like search engine optimization going so people could find our music if they wanted to, we were like, okay, that's a bit fucking shit.
You've picked a big titan to go up against with the name.
Well, we have like a trademark on our name now.
Do you?
Yeah. We were advised to do it, especially after all the kind of recent stuff in the British music industry with smaller bands having somebody else take their trademark and giving them a cease and desist just in this country to spite them and things like that. So we have a trademark on that for the purposes of using it as a band name. So that's kind of that's okay. No one else can use A New Hope, but we can't also be sued by Disney for it. So that's good.
I mean, I personally would have gone for the band name A Phantom Menace, but or is it the Phantom? I don't know.
It's the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, there's me saying how like clued up I am on Star Wars. I got the fucking name wrong.
Phantom Menace, that makes it sound like a load of weird stalkers, though, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, you'd have to play like Norwegian black metal or something.
exactly, yeah, 100%. Wear a shed load of makeup live, just like cake it on, really kind of like goth out for that, and then it would make sense. We thought A New Hope was kind of a bit kind of like more lighthearted. I think there was also kind of like, obviously, the internal memes in the band flying around being like, yeah, we're A New Hope for music, mate. That's what it is. Like, just obviously as a piss take. So it kind of it came through from that, and yeah, that was it. It just, once it stuck and Jamie had done a couple of pieces of like promo artwork, it was pretty much impossible for us to like call ourselves anything else, because then you've been referring to yourself as it for like fucking 3 months or whatever. Right. It's not going to change. I meant to ask you guys as well, actually. Obviously, I know this is for your. You've got a variety of different musical endeavours, but I always wondered where Erica Drive came from.
It was a last-minute conversation we had after we'd recorded our first EP.
Yeah.
Erica Drive was a road that I lived on.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
We were like scratching around for names. One that was going to be the name was Chasing Amy. We were called Chasing Amy for a bit, and all the files from the studio came back as Chasing Amy.
I enjoyed the Erica Drive name. I thought it was good. I just always wondered where it came from. I meant to ask you last time I saw you, but I was probably too pissed and forgot.
It was a long time ago as well.
Ages ago.
I can't even remember the last time. Was it the Newbury show?
I think it probably would have been the Newbury show, yeah.
Yeah, that was our first show as a 4-piece.
That was good, actually. You guys played the best out of everyone that night. You had a really good set, considering that it was an AIDS venue and an AIDS setup as well. Like, it sounded...
What's your opinion on bands running over? Do you remember? I remember you were fuming at this. I don't know if you remember it. The band that went on before us, so everyone was due to play like 40-minute set. And the band, because you played, and then another band played, and we were sat outside like, okay, well, we're going on last.
Oh,
this
shit!
Band have been on for like an hour and 20 minutes.
I'm going to fucking name and shame those guys as well, because those guys were afraid. Like, I've not seen head nor tail of them since. I guess I'm giving them free promo here by even
Worst
saying
case,
their
I'll
name.
beep it. I'll bleep it out. It's fine.
Okay.
Nope.
They're called are a bunch of fucking massive, self-aggrandizing, egotistical assholes who deserve nothing but hatred and pain. No one's playing fucking like pop ska and fucking 2021. Fuck off.
Yeah, I just remember you got really angry because we were supposed to go on. It's like they've been on for like an hour and 20 minutes now.
Yeah, so they played over their set time. They ignored the request from the sound guy and other people on the side of the stage to stop playing.
Did they actually get told to stop playing? I thought.
As in Jamie asked them to stop playing. The sound guy said, "Guys, your set should have ended 10 minutes ago. Can you wrap it up?" They just carried on playing, and the guy was like, the sound guy. Luckily, on the song they stopped on, he said, "If they go to start playing another one, I'm going to kill the PA." Because they've had like way more than their time, and obviously you guys only got like 20 minutes of set time or 15 minutes of set time or something stupid like that because of them, and it was just stupid that they'd gotten away with it. And then they had the gall afterwards, the fucking gall to like throughout everyone else's sets. We played at like a snooker club, so there was like a kind of ramp on the way and a big set of stairs and stuff. Through everyone else's sets, they sat outside on the steps. I mean, like whatever, you know, artistic statement. They were like obviously kind of meant to be like kind of fun, kind of like ska poppy kind of band, and they're all wearing like loads of like plastic accessories, like a big plastic clock like Flavor Flav, and like a load of kind of like colourful Hawaiian shirts and shit. And they were just like sat outside on the stairs. Every time you come through, they'd be like, "Oh, that's a really good set, mate. It's a really good set." And they were saying it to the other bands that had played, and I knew that they hadn't fucking watched them because I'd been out for like a piss. I think I vaped at the time, like before I quit smoking properly, and I'd been out like for a vape and stuff, like in between like some songs for some of the other bands, and they've been out there the entire time. They hadn't watched a single other band, and they were fucking just being like, yeah, great set, guys, great set. It's just like, what a bunch of penises, man.
Yeah, I remember it happening, because I remember you were getting furious at them.
Oh, well, weirdly enough, the one thing that remembers from that evening is that I was going to go and talk to them, and you're like, "Don't, mate, just leave them be." I was on my way over to be like, "You guys are a bunch of fucking dickheads," and like, I mean, I'm not a particularly confrontational person, to be honest with you. It's not really in my nature to give people shit, especially people I don't know. But that just wound me up the wrong way.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with the music industry, like especially at our level, like, you know, small bands and stuff like that, is everyone's in the same boat, and there's always, I'd say, a certain level of competition between other bands, because it's like your artistic endeavor. You want to be better than other people at doing it. You don't want to be like, I think that's relatively healthy because it drives you to try and be better and do better. But it shouldn't come at the expense of shitting on other people that you're playing with, because ultimately you're in the same boat. You're all getting paid, you know, little to nothing or just fuel or whatever covers for your early shows, and you're all kind of like trying to create a decent live performance and have fun with the people you know around you.
Yeah,
So
I would have thought like the last thing you want is a bad rep. Like,
well,
especially
yeah.
at that stage, the last thing you want is, oh, I'm not booking them because they fucking run over, or they leave after they played, they don't watch anyone else. Like, surely that's not a rep to have.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right there. You don't want to kind of like annoy other bands, because loads of stuff getting onto shows is word of mouth from other bands you play with as well. It's not just like venues and venue bookers. It's like, oh, we played with those guys, they were nice blokes, put on a good show or whatever. Like, that's how we met you guys and stayed in contact with you, hopefully. And same with like Basement League and stuff. It's just from kind of getting on.
I think the worst thing about that, the wait, was because it was our first show as a 4-piece, I was shitting it. Like, I'm never normally nervous before a show, but I'm like, this has gone on forever, and now we're going to have to go on. We're a 4-piece, like, first time ever. We've just lost like our backing singer and our third guitarist. It's like, I just want to know if it's shit or not. I just want to get that out of the way. I want to find out now if it's shit.
You guys are really good. You put on a really good show, and everyone rated it, even though it was obviously a horribly short set for you guys. Loads of people came up to us afterwards and were like, yeah, that was really good. Who are those guys? Like, obviously, because Jamie knew a lot of people from Newbury, or people that were asking him who you guys were. So it went down really well as a show, even though it was brief. And in closing, fuck.
Nope. Yeah. Right, so we touched on the writing,
yes,
and I pointed out that I wasn't recording. So now is the time where we can talk about the writing process and its recording, because I've just checked.
Yes. Yeah.
So, A New Hope's writing process. Hit me with it.
So, it's pretty simple, really. It's me and Ben, basically. Jamie does come up with some ideas, which she sends to Ben, and Ben ignores. Not because they're bad, just because I think Ben's quite set in his ways about how he writes songs, I guess, maybe. I'm not sure.
That, yeah.
So, yeah, Ben writes the drums, the bass, the guitars, and then sends them to me. And then I record the vocals, all the harmonies, come up with any... I don't come up with all the screaming parts. Ali's come up with... I did write all the screaming parts for him before, but now he's kind of moving more into that kind of driving seat and doing a bit more of his own writing. And that's it. We then send it to the kind of group chat, upload a demo to Dropbox, and see what everyone's saying, and change stuff from there. We tend to very rarely change song structure unless we really don't like it. I think Ben's kind of probably does a few iterations on his own before he puts out the great unwashed that is the band, so it's kind of like already at a stable point. And that's it. Brady does harmonies live, along with our backing tracks. Obviously, not diminishing Jamie, Sheen, or Ali's talents, or Brady's talent. They're all very good at what they do. But they have an opportunity to get involved in the writing process. It's not something that's kind of like a dictatory attitude towards it. If they want an input, they can. I think, for the most part, they're just happy with what Ben's doing, really. And if they want anything changed from what I'm doing, they ask, and we change it. So, that's it, really.
Works, the first time I was told that we were playing shows with you, the first thing I did was go and listen to you. And I think from listening to you then to the new stuff, I know it's still you, but, like, you've taken it up a level, I think. Like, big time.
Really kind to say, because, I mean, that's... I don't know. Lockdown's definitely kind of changed my approach towards writing now, in that I used to be a very prolific writer, and as soon as I heard something, I'd have an idea for a hook or a melody, and then I'd kind of flesh around it straight away, and it would be the lyrics I think of afterwards, and kind of like mold stuff to my melody rather than doing anything the other way. But I got hit with a load of anxiety, weird personal anxiety during lockdown. I'm not really sure why, because I worked throughout most of it, so I'm not sure what it was about. But I think just general stuff, my personal life, things like that kind of personal circumstances that changed during that period of time, that made me really question a lot of the stuff I was doing and be really unhappy with it. And I think right at the start of the first lockdown, I had COVID, and it really did a number on my lungs. Like, even now, you can hear my voice is a bit kind of nasally and gravelly, and I've been kind of like, we're a year down the line from when I had it, I'm still kind of coughing up a bit of horrid phlegm and stuff. I had it quite bad, I think, because I had a fever for about a week, which isn't too bad. I didn't have to go on a ventilator or anything, because it was right at the start of it. There wasn't a lot of government advice. And the day that I called, like, the hospital, basically, to be like, yeah, this isn't normal. I've had a fever for like 5 days now, and I feel terrible, was the day that my fever subsided. So I was like, well, no point calling them now. But yeah, that's kind of a different story. But that gave me a load of weird anxiety about writing, and I think my writing has been a bit more considered. So obviously we're writing we have enough songs to release an album, but we're probably just going to release an EP, and kind of pick our favorite 5 songs and then work on the others and refine them and use them as basis for like go on the next one. And I don't think we're big enough to release an album yet, and as much as we want to do it for our own personal goals, we all kind of would love to have an album that we've worked on, like 10 tracks of solid music that we like. I think it's probably easier for us to refine 5 songs we really like and then keep the other kind of like 6 on the back burner.
I mean, I would love to release an album. One of my things is I want to put an album out and go into HMV and buy it.
That'd be sick.
Like, I don't know whether albums are the thing anymore. Like,
they're definitely not.
I mean, singles, aren't they?
I don't think we'd even release it as an album if we did it. We just wanted to have an album's worth of songs and then release them over like a year, like so we had content was what our plan was. So obviously, like, you got to keep kind of some content flowing, and we've historically been kind of lazy at stuff like that. We're getting on top of it now, but yeah, we wanted to just release them as singles, then maybe keep like 3 songs for the end and release it on Spotify as an album with like 3 songs that hadn't been heard on there.
Yeah.
But then you kind of like, you're holding like 3 really good songs in reserve to try and get people to listen to your album rather than using them as lead singles, which is yeah. So yeah, we'll just do an EP and release them all as singles and have 5 songs as content to release over the coming months instead, which is all pretty much written anyway. It's just a case of us hashing out some final bits and sending it off for mixing now.
Right. So with the recording process, talk to me about this Purple Room. Because from what I gathered from what you said, you do all the vocals and stuff down here.
Yeah, so behind me, if there's video to this podcast, then you'll be able to see me pointing. If not, then directly behind me is a booth, a vocal booth. And obviously I use my computer, and there's a couple of studio monitors behind that as well, kindly donated from Brady. To track, so we track through Reason, to track all of our stuff. So Ben will track all the guitars and bass and stuff, and then use a sequence kit and do all the editing of the guitars and bass, and then we'll do all the editing of the vocals, all the standard stuff you have to do comping. We don't do any tuning on them. That gets done by the guys who do the mastering if there's any tuning that needs to be done, but obviously you want to get to the point where it's near perfect before you're sending it off anyway. So that's the process, really. We record the instruments at Ben's place. He does them all there. He's got his own kind of little office in his garage where he records all that stuff. And then normally Ali or Brady will come up and help me track the vocals, because sometimes it's a bit of a 2-man job, not as in 2 people to record. I do all the demos on my own, but when you're trying to nail down takes for the final kind of set of files that are going out, it's better to have somebody else who's not you being critical of your takes. Yeah. I find. I don't know about you, but I mean, to be fair, you're a bit more consistent than me than singing. But I think it's like easier to have a second set of ears to go, oh, that's a little bit sharp there, oh, that's a little bit flat, or that harmony's not quite on. And obviously you can solo, if you're doing double takes, you'll solo both your double takes together so you can hear that they're perfectly in line. When you'll solo your harmonies in line with it to make sure that there's no off notes and all that kind of stuff. But still, just like the delivery and intonation, I think it's good to have somebody else there to be like, oh, give that a bit more beans, make that a bit louder, that should be a bit more aggressive there, sort of thing.
Yeah. I find that, like, I like to have someone there who's, I'll try it this way, because I get very set in my ways. So I'll sing it once and be like, right, that's how it's going to be in the final. And then somebody else will throw an idea. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not as good as I think. So I'm gonna have to...
It's good. I think that's like for me, it's an invaluable part of the process. And I'm happy to write melodies and write lyrics and stuff like that. And a lot of them are personal things to me. I don't really ever explain to the guys what the songs are about. I try and not do it when people ask. I think it's just, for me, music, in the past, the things that I've always found have drawn me to music are when lyrics and melodies have engaged me. I've not really known what they're about, so you can draw comparisons in your own life to them. And I generally really hate answering that question of being like, oh, what's the song about? Because it's like, I don't really want to tell you, to be honest.
Yeah, I always like people to make up their own, like, because it will resonate with somebody in a different way. So the guys in the band know what some of the songs are about because it's just come up in conversation.
Yeah, likewise, yeah.
But then for somebody listening from the outside, it might mean something completely different. It's like, oh, that's great. If that's what it means to you, run with it. Like, it doesn't matter what it means to me if it means something else to you.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I won't shy away from answering if the guys directly ask me. And Ben is often asks, I think, actually, probably more than anyone else, what it's about. But artists that have kind of touched me the most in my life, music that I've enjoyed and that I've had on repeat because something's really kind of like resonated with me. It's always because it's drawn something in comparison to my own life. And although I'll avidly try and learn the lyrics and stuff like that, it's kind of how you just twist that and shape that into your own kind of personal narrative and what's going on with you. So I kind of try and avoid kind of putting too much heat on that part of the songwriting process and just let people think what they want, really.
Yeah, let it speak for itself.
Exactly.
So, latest release, No Memes.
Yeah. Oh man, we need to start coming up with better ideas for our song names here, mate. This is getting pretty stupid now.
Do you want to run through some of the song names?
The single release before that was called Don't Come. Mate, we had a meeting with a very established and very helpful, might I add, lady from the music industry to kind of help steer us in the right direction for more kind of, I guess, making us more commercially viable and to kind of assist us in releases and stuff like that. And we had to have a big kind of Zoom call with all the band guys in this lady, and she was like, "So your single Don't Come," and everyone's just there like trying not to laugh, because that came around from some stupid game we used to play when we were at like venues and stuff. When we were watching other bands, like if Ali was standing next to me or something, I'd like hit him in the balls or the dick and just like pretend to beat him off and say "Don't come." And then, like, for some reason, some idiot put that into the fucking list of song names as to why it was there. So now forevermore, so stupid. No Memes was because I sent Ben a message in the band chat saying, can we start calling our songs, like, proper names and not just meme titles instead? Can we just, like, have some actual song names that aren't just memes? So then he just named the session file No Memes. And by the time I'd finished demoing it, then it's just like, well, you can't change it from anything from that, can you? And it's like, everyone's in their fucking 30s saying Don't Come and No Memes. That's so dumb.
Because I remember you saying that to me, and I was like, that's like, it's slightly odd, because we were leaving and you gave me a cuddle and we were embracing for a while, and you're like, oh, this is a proper singer's cuddle, and then you just leant in and you were like, "Don't come." Right? I was like,
that's about right.
Too late. You should have warned me before.
Yeah, that's I think that was exactly what we were doing at the time, because we thought in our immature way that it was fucking hilarious. I don't know why, but yeah,
I like that though, because like, you don't really want to be like, while you want to be taken seriously as a band, you don't want people to go, oh, they're like fucking
pretentious as fuck.
Yeah, what a headache they are.
No, I don't really mind it as much as I protest about it. It's something. It's like, it's one of those weird, quirky things. It makes you cringe a little bit, or makes me cringe a little bit, but at the same time, I still find it quite funny, because it's just, I mean, Ali has like a list in his phone of when everyone's been like drunk or been hanging out at band practice, someone said something stupid that's just been added to the list of potential song names, and some of them are just so dumb. Next time I see you, I'll get him to read them all out, because there's just so many stupid names in there, of like pages of just idiocy. Doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't have to. You know, music can be fun and should be fun at the same time.
Yeah, so go listen to No Memes. Do you want to plug it?
Yeah, you certainly can. If you check out Spotify, we have a music video up on YouTube. You can stream it on Apple Music. I think you can stream it on Deezer. You can stream it pretty much everywhere you want to. But if you go through our band Facebook, New Hope, you'll be able to find the links to everything on there. And I will send Matt the link tree to our stuff for this when it goes out, so you can put it in the description, which basically means below that you'll be able to see a link tree which will aggregate out links for all of our social media, our merch store, and all of our music, and get Matt to do that somehow.
Are you being paid by Linktree as well?
I was hyping Discord before this to Matt, and he was just asking me, "Are you paid by Discord?" I was like,
yeah, so we're doing this over Discord, and Josh gave me like the perfect like advert for Discord and all the benefits of having it. And what a fucking salesman. So Linktree's in there as well, not a sponsor.
No, neither of them are a sponsor yet, but Linktree, if you're hearing this, hit Matt up for some sponsorship, please. And same with Discord, do something good for once, Discord. Don't sell to Microsoft, sponsor Matt instead.
Exactly.
Can I reverse plug you?
If you want. I mean, we've got nothing coming out, so.
No, I was going to say, no, I meant actually your clothing line, because obviously
go for it.
This is something which is like really interesting, because Jamie had talked about doing a clothing line for ages, but Matt has pretty much crowdfunded, designed, and done everything to release his own clothing line over lockdown, which is hugely industrious compared to what I've done during lockdown, which is just get fatter and do nothing. So like, if you haven't already, obviously Shaped Through Fate Apparel. Is it Shaped Through Fate Apparel or Shaped Through Fate Clothing?
It's Shaped Through Fate Apparel, but I just refer to it as Shaped Through Fate, although that does sound like a early emos band.
That's good. Early emo 6, so I'm not going to have a problem with that. But yeah, if you haven't and you are hearing this and somehow you've managed to find his Shaped Through Fate podcast and not checked out his Shaped Through Fate clothing line, then you go and do so. There's some really cool stuff in there, and he's deserving of all the money and attention you can give him.
There is going to be a collaboration with Jamie, actually. We've spoken about it.
Is there really? See,
Yeah,
Jamie is very hush-hush about his endeavours.
I say that. I mentioned it to him and he was like, yeah, cool.
That's all you'll ever get from
That's
Jamie.
as far as it's got, so that's as good as done for me. So
Well, that is as good as done for Jamie. He's a man of few words in everything, really. If you're hoping to have some kind of like organised professional interaction with Jamie, you're fucking barking up the wrong tree, mate. But he is very talented, and
he is very talented,
and will definitely do some good work. And he's very good at doing kind of like. To be fair, so all your graphic design for your merch stuff has been excellent as well. But he's also very good at that kind of stuff. So it'd be good to see a collaboration between you two.
Well, let's get on to shows then, because it's not like it's a groundbreaking announcement that Erica Drive, A New Hope, and Basement League are going to do a tour in August.
Yes, we are. So yeah, I'm obviously I can read out the runs that are confirmed. Yeah.
All I've got on my screen is you, because I'm screen recording, so I can't get anything up.
So August 18th, I think the tour kicks off in Leeds, which is at Hyde Park Book Club. Which isn't actually a book club, so don't stress, guys. We won't get told to turn down in there, and if we do, I'll be pissing, so don't worry. 19th is in Manchester, Manny on the Map, Retro, which should be sick. Manchester is a real good venue.
It's a great venue. We're just playing.
Great venue. Just playing in the city centre. We're setting up with busking for the show.
Yeah,
outside there, yeah. We're wearing Chelsea t-shirts to get our teeth kicked in. Then August 20th, we're in Birmingham at the Asylum, which is, again, I don't know who's managed to get.
That's going to be sick.
Yeah, that's going to be so good. Like the Asylum, I've seen so many bands there across my life, and I'm really hyped to be playing there. Northampton, I don't know where we're playing, which follows on the 21st.
All the venues are closed in Northampton at the minute. Like, all of them seem to be going.
Loads of them are shut down. Yeah, they've had a real downturn, which is a shame. But I think that's Cameron's hometown, isn't it?
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll sort something out. I think the 25th is still to be confirmed. Then the Thursday is Bristol at the Exchange, another great venue. Like Bristol is a sick city to play in as well. That's a real nice city too.
Oh, the 25th, because I think I booked this one in. It is in Gloucester.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's right next to where I live.
The Dick Whittington.
We're gonna have a great time there then. That'll be good actually, because I mean, I've lived in Hereford for a decade now, and I've never played a show near here. Worcester obviously has a couple of venues which are pretty decent, I think. And Gloucester does, Cheltenham does, and Swindon does, which are all around here. But we've never been asked to play a show there, and we've chased loads of shows.
Well, I might have lied to you then. The place that we're going is like 45 minutes north of Bristol. That's not you, is it?
That's Gloucester. Yeah. I'm not far. It only takes an hour to get to Bristol from here. An hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there.
There's only one Gloucester in England. So if it's Gloucester, we're playing Gloucester there, and that is about 45 minutes north of Bristol up the M5.
I'll say it's Gloucester. Yeah, it's Gloucester. We're going
fucking
there.
Gloucester. We're playing in fucking Gloucester on the 25th. So that's where I'm going to be playing anyway. Then where everyone else is going to be. Then on the 26th is Bristol, which you just said. 27th is going to be at the Anvil in Bournemouth. The Anvil is actually, I have to say, other than the load-in, which is just down a set of disgusting concrete stairs into some kind of pit at the back, the Anvil is one of my favourite venues to play. I really like playing there. It's got a really good sound set up, a real cool vibe to it, and there's Wetherspoons over the road. So, like, if you want to get your teeth busted in by a load of chatters, you can straight afterwards.
I do like the Anvil. I've got such a soft spot for the Anvil.
Yeah, it's such a good venue. Genuinely, not blowing smoke up your ass. That's really good.
I reckon we're going to sell it out as well. I reckon that's going to be a sellout.
That'll be sick, because
it gets so sweaty down there.
It's awesome when it gets sweaty down there, though.
Yeah.
But just to quickly segue into that, obviously that'll be a really good set of shows for us, all three of us as bands. But if anyone is listening to this and is on the fence about going, you should definitely come down. Even if you just want to come down with some drinks and hang out, because there's been a load of live music venues that have shut down over the lockdown period because they haven't been able to survive financially. And for small upcoming bands like ourselves, obviously Matt with doing his own solo stuff, and Erica Drive, us in the New Hope, and Basement League, these places are super important, if nothing else than just to, none of us may ever be, professional musicians, but loads of people who have become professional musicians have come up playing through these kind of venues, and I think it's really important for the UK to have a live music scene still, and not just fall into obscurity. Whereas everything gets homogenized into fucking flats, or council shut places down, or places get condemned. There has to be some kind of money put into the arts in the UK. And although obviously it's not your responsibility as citizens to do it, if you fancy coming down for a beer and listening to us sing, then do it.
Yeah, that was. You should be Prime Minister. I think.
I got told the other day that I'd make a good cult leader, someone said, which I found almost a little bit offensive. I wasn't sure. But...
Yeah, I don't know whether that's offensive or... I mean, it would be if you were like some suicide cult or something, or you're like a murderous cult. But...
Well, that's all I'd want to be. What other cults are there? Actually, I suppose there's the kind of cults that you get money from, like Jared Leto earning money from all of his fans, and Scientology. That's a cult, right?
Yeah. So what can people expect from a New Hope show? I've seen them, so you describe it to me.
We've changed our live setup a lot from that. I think the first show we did at the Anvil, I don't know, I'd probably say we bombed in that nobody really understood us, what was going on.
I wasn't going to mention it, but there was one review, the only review of the show.
What review?
We found it funny because, like, you're going, make some noise for Erica Drive, yeah, they're a bit shit. And we found it funny. Like, or you'd say something and everyone would be like, what? And we'd be like, no, that's funny. Like, that's funny. And everyone's like, what's this about? And one of the reviews was like, I wasn't sure what was going on between the songs.
We've kind of tightened up a little bit from there. And obviously, because we've got a load of new music out, we've kind of changed our live show. Definitely tried to put more energy to it. And less kind of just like meme banter between, because we got criticised so hard at that fucking show at the end. We were like, okay, so I mean, we might like it, and like the people that we know, like Erica Drive and Basement Leaf, might like it, but everyone else in the audience fucking hates us now. So I think it'll be fun still. Obviously, it's not all. We don't take ourselves too seriously. And we try and put on a kind of energetic live performance, really. It's going to be loud, there's going to be breakdowns, there's going to be some screaming, there's going to be some nice vocal hooks, and probably going to be some digs at everyone else who's on the set that evening. Just a couple.
Nice. A lot of sweat guaranteed.
Yeah, it's going to be a sweaty show, that is.
I mean, this is basically me passing off my work because I get fucking lazy. So when we did the run with Basement League, I got Cameron to sing one of the songs because I couldn't be fucked to do it. Now I'm going to get you to do one and Cameron to do one. So if we're playing 6 songs, I'm 4 songs, that's it. I'm done.
I'm going to get you guys to do the same thing then. We could just take it easy then for a couple of the things in there. I'd love to come and do it. I always feel kind of like awkward singing other people's songs because I feel like I'm never doing it justice, and no bullshit. I really enjoy a lot of the Erica Drive songs. And I've listened to quite a bit of your solo stuff as well as it's come up, and I've enjoyed pretty much all of it. So I always feel a bit of imposter syndrome singing some of these music.
Don't worry about it. I think I've got a video of Cameron. Cameron sang on Better Man. We did Better Man together, us and Cameron, and he fucking smashed it. And it's good because it meant that I could go and dance instead of just being tied to a microphone all the time.
Yeah, there is definitely that element of it. You'd like to be able to boogie a little bit if you haven't got to do it. If you want me to jump on a track, I'll happily do it, especially if we're doing runs together. It'll be fun. I'm going to force Cameron into some stuff as well. I like to... We've got an ongoing kind of like meme of just like getting Cameron and getting him to do things he doesn't like to do. Did you hear the story about why Basement League are called Basement League? Because they used to wrestle each other.
No. I've got Isaac coming. I was going to ask him, but you can tell me, and then I'll tie it up. No, you tell me this story, and I'll tie it up with what he says.
Okay, so
then I'll find the truth.
I'm raining on your parade here, Isaac. You fucking. No, Isaac's lovely. Cameron said that the reason they're called Basement League is because they used to wrestle each other, and that was what they're kind of like, the group that they were wrestling in was called the Basement League. So whoever was like the top of the chain was like top of the Basement League, basically, in terms of who was winning all the wrestling fights, which I think was James, like their bass player.
I can imagine it would either be James or Nathan, the drummer.
Yeah, James or Nathan, they'll both be in there.
Like, I don't know actually, because Isaac, he'd have a fucking. If he goes, he'd go.
He's like a terrier, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
He's a brummie. He'd go. Like, if he's going to fight, he'd fight.
Exactly, but I think because it's like a friendly fight rather than them actually, like, they're not weighing, they're wrestling, they're grappling for strength. I think from what Cameron said, James was in top. But anyway, Cameron came up here to record some stuff for us for a song ages ago, which has been released actually, I think, which he just did some backing on it for us and came up for the weekend to hang out. and then he wanted to kind of like he wanted to wrestle us basically.
Why?
He was real pissed, and I think he got like this extendable duster that was in my kitchen, and I'd like wrapped it across my knuckles really hard, like fucking cracked it, and like broken the duster over my knuckles. I think he was just pissed, like just messing around or whatever, but like it really hurt, and I was real angry.
Broke my duster from my knuckles. Okay, yeah, that's not something I thought I'd hear today.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know where I was expecting this to go.
He was always going to divulge. So he wanted to wrestle me, and just like I just pinned him and held him there. And then afterwards, he was like insistent that like he then had to wrestle Ali. He was like, "Well, Ali's going to be your second best because Sheen's not here, so I'm going to wrestle Ali. I'm going to wrestle Ali." And there's like a video somewhere. I think I put it into our combined band chat of like Ali just sat on him, like with his body like curved. So like Cameron's head is on the floor, and like his spine is curved round, and his like arse is in the air with his legs dangling. And Ali just sat on his legs, so he can't get out of that position. Yeah, from there we just like to kind of do things to get Cameron really, to challenge him. Mentally and physically.
Fair enough. Well, apparently, has Isaac mentioned to you we're getting Airbnbs? Has he mentioned that?
He hasn't, but that was something we were going to address with you guys anyway, because that tends to be the easiest way for bands now, like especially if you're touring with a group of people, to just get Airbnbs because the cost is so much cheaper.
I'd say that like me and Isaac have discussed it. It was a message that he sent me, and I've read it. That to me is a conversation.
That is a conversation, yeah. That's definitely. I mean, that would actually probably be a pretty sound thing. I'm not really in like as much as this is probably not done much to help my cause. I'm definitely less into tour partying now than I was before. But so I won't be pissing on any floors in any Airbnbs. Don't worry. Be being a lot more.
Still wrestle Cameron though.
Oh, I'm gonna wrestle that little bitch straight away as soon as I see him.
The last show I played before lockdown was with Basement League. I went up and did an acoustic set because we were booked to play it, but we didn't go. So I went and did an Erica Drive acoustic set
at the Engine Rooms, right?
That was at Slaughtered Lamb.
Slaughtered Lamb. So I knew it was somewhere because Cameron recorded that and sent it to me, or Cameron did, or a snippet of it, or Isaac did. I can't remember. Sent it in the chat. So I think we watched a bit of your set through someone Facebook live streaming. I think I seem to recall. I don't know who it was. I can't remember. Someone from Basement League did it. The Slaughtered Lamb's a cool venue, actually. I like it there. Is that in Kingston upon Thames, or am I thinking somewhere else?
I honestly wouldn't know. I'm so bad with geography. I just get in the back of a car and get taken somewhere. It's a very hostage type situation when I go to a show.
That sounds more like kind of like Mr. Big Shot. You're rolling up in a limousine. The driver takes me to the show, darling. Don't worry.
Yeah. We're stopping. Okay, I'll get some food now. Then back in the van. We're at the venue. Okay, cool. Where are we? It does sound a bit big time, that, but I'm just shit at geography. Like I could travel 10 minutes to my house and be lost. I
travel everywhere for work, so it's all you kind of learn places you're going from there. It's ingrained in my mind for no reason whatsoever. It's not useful. I'd rather get ferried somewhere actually. Before we sign this off, what's going on for you musically? We'll leave on a Matt note then. If there's anything else you want to ask me, of course.
I've got two.
Sorry, I didn't realize you had any questions.
I've got three. So where I said we're setting traditions.
I don't know where else to be.
No, you're right. I've got to get off and watch my Cambridge United game. So.
You got 2 hours.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm in it. If we're getting promoted today, I'm in it for the long haul. Yeah, so where I said we're setting traditions. So basically, I'll answer that and then we can go on to the traditions. Erica Drive have got a 5-track EP that we're going to release as singles starting whenever. I don't actually know.
Is it finished? Is it finished in writing?
Finished. It's recorded. In the process of being mastered. We've got a video for it. We got a guest on there who I couldn't believe we actually got him on there. Which is. Are you allowed
to say it? Are you going to keep it as part of the suspense? It's fine if you can't.
To be fair, I can always blank it out.
Of course you can.
I can do whatever I want with the audio. There's on it.
Oh, sick! How on earth did you manage to get him to come?
It's lockdown.
You've been incredibly prolific with writing stuff for your solo career.
Yeah, I got bored. Like I was furloughed, so I was off work for like 100 days. I got so fucking bored. I was like, I need to do something to kill some time now.
Well, that's a great use to have that kind of like avenue to release that stuff as well, and kind of it's a lot of I'm not shitting on anyone here, but a lot of kind of people who release kind of like the solo singer-songwriter stuff, kind of at the level that we're at, it's always like really poorly produced or really like rough and around the edges. And your stuff was actually was pretty damn well done. I was pleasantly surprised. Did you do that yourself then?
Yeah, it was just me in the room that I'm in now.
Oh, was it?
So like I did did all the record. I've got the guy that did the last Erica Drive EP. I had him on a Zoom call, and he was showing me how mixing works and all that. So I did it all myself, and like the piano and the strings, I'd program in, or I'd play like one hand on the piano and then go over it with the right, because I can't play the piano. I was like, I know what I want it to sound like, but
just kind of getting it to that stage. That's it. Well, have you got more plans to release more solo stuff? You got more stuff in the pipeline you've been writing? Like, where are you at with that?
So the next one I want to release is it's a band's thing. So it's not going to be Erica Drive, but it will be a band. And I want to write, because I'm really big on serial killer documentaries. Like I don't like, there's nothing to love about a serial killer, but I'm fascinated by him.
Is that why you got that Ted Bundy tattoo across your back?
Yeah.
Fascination.
Do you want to see my John Wayne Gacy?
I've got a lampshade made by Ed Gein here for you.
Yeah, so my plan is I want to do, it's potentially like biting off a lot. I want to do like an audio book, which is like a front to back story, and I'll have voice actors doing it, and I'm going to put like 8 or 9 songs in there. So it'll be an audio book with music. So you'll have like a 2-minute track that's a bit of the story, and then it'll play a song, and you can listen to it as either just the audio book, the whole lot, or just the music. It will stand alone on its own. That's the plan.
That'd be sick. That's quite interesting, because I'm obviously, I haven't done any market research on this, because I've just heard the idea now, but I don't think I've ever come across anything like that. I mean, maybe someone else has already kind of done something similar, but I mean, incredibly theatrical, but also interesting enough to be just as a great kind of idea on its own, to stand up on its own legs, as not only an audiobook but also an audiobook with music to kind of couple in. You can not just use that to run between segments if the stories you're telling and stuff. That'd be so good.
Yeah, I think the only issue is I'm being like really harsh on myself, because every track's got to be like a single.
I think with that kind of endeavour though, because there's no time frame on it, you have the opportunity to. It's probably a solid move to make, to kind of come to it each time and say, is this the best that I'm doing right now? And although that's probably not good in terms of, you know, churning out creativity, as in obviously you can get frustrated with yourself for not getting to where you want to with the songs, it overall it will benefit in the end. So it's probably a worthwhile endeavour to kind of keep pushing that, you know, best practice, best song kind of idea down. I think that'll come out really well.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And then there's all the Shaped Through Fate stuff as well. So yeah, busy.
That's good. That's good to be busy. Are you back at work now?
Yeah, I'm on my 3rd job. So I got made redundant from the first one.
Oh shit!
It was one of them that I was like, I fucking hated it anyway, but I was so comfortable that I didn't leave. And then I became a fishmonger. So I went from being a graphic designer to a fishmonger.
Is that why you grew out that beard and got that hat? And that's a very fishmonger look.
Pretty much, yeah. Big yellow wellies and stuff. And then I'm back graphic designing now. So it's been an odd fucking time.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I always thought you fucking stunk of fish anyway. So like, that's fucking right.
As well as my John Wayne Gacy, you should see my kipper. Or it should be taste my kipper. You walk into a room and you can taste my kipper.
Straight away, off the bat, as soon as he comes in. You can taste it in the air before he arrives. It's like sulphur from the volcano. You can smell it miles away. Matt smells fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 questions.
Quick fire questions. I'm
going to put you on the spot.
Go for it.
Don't think about it, just say it.
I'll try.
Top 5 bands at the moment.
For me, oh god, so difficult. Can I get my Spotify up to see my last, like what I've been listening to recently? Is that all right?
Yeah, come on.
It's not that quick, but I try and make sure I remember all my names. My names? I've only got one name. Been listening to a lot of Hot Milk recently. They're pretty good, from Manchester, I think from Manchester. Kind of pop rock. Been enjoying them. Boys of Fall released an album last year that I've had on repeat, like Constant Equal Distance. That is an absolutely phenomenal kind of like emo metal kind of like jazzy record. It's so fucking good. Go and listen to it if you haven't already. Yours truly, Self Care, kind of a little bit Paramore-y, I guess, but they're Australian. I really enjoyed that record. It's just, she's got some amazing vocals on there, like beyond awesome. Weirdly enough, I've been listening to, Spencer Stello from Periphery. He did a song, an album from First to Last.
Right.
Obviously when Sonny Moore was probably off doing something else, being Skrillex. I've been listening to that loads. And Hurtwave, they're kind of like the guys from Dayseeker have done kind of like a synth pop kind of side project, and I've been listening to that like non-stop. That's really good kind of mood music when you're driving at night or early in the morning. And that's 5, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, we've hit 5. I was going to give you a heads up on that so you could prepare, but then I thought it might be more fun to just get it off the fucking cuff.
It's more that I couldn't remember some of the names and the album and stuff, so I was like, oh yeah, I've been listening to that song. Who the fuck's that by? Thought I'd better get on my Spotify and see, because that's what's been on my kind of repeat recently.
One song that you think everyone should hear.
Probably the first song off that Boys of Fall record, Distance, which is called Distance. So Distance by Boys of Fall.
You're going to have to message me that because I ain't going to fucking remember. Although I've got the audio, I can just listen back to it.
I'll just send it to you, link in your Discord and your general channel.
Oh, Discord, get the plug in.
Get the plug in, guys.
Right, last one then. So, you've done some dodgy shit that's got you on death row because England's brought back capital punishment.
Not again.
You've got your last meal, starter, main, dessert and drink. What are you having?
Can I get my mum to cook it, or do I have to get it from a restaurant?
You can get it from, it's your last meal. You can have whatever you want. You get it from wherever you want.
My mum's a phenomenal cook. Anything she'd make there, I'd be happy with. So for starters, probably go with something like, something quite nice Mediterranean, like a stuffed pepper. Go something like that, would be pretty nice. Main, I've never really been that into like steak. I don't really like my meat like with loads of blood and shit in it still. So just get me like it's just a heathen thing to say, but get me some kind of well done burger. I'm just gonna have that. Chicken actually, a chicken wrap, that'd be pretty sick. Some nice fresh salad, a little bit of vinaigrette dressing in there, and some chicken in there, a bit of mayonnaise, maybe a bit of mustard. I'll go down with that. I mean, maybe can I have more than one wrap though? Because it's my last one.
If it classes as a main, if you can eat it all as the main course, then yeah, you can have whatever
I can eat all of it, mate. I'll eat all those wraps. And dessert, I'm not really a sweet guy. I don't really eat a lot of sweet foods. Despite being fat, I don't eat a lot of chocolate or anything. Puddings, like summer fruit pudding. My mum always makes summer fruit pudding, which is like bread that you line a bowl with, and then you put all the summer fruits from the garden in there, like blackcurrants, strawberries, raspberries, anything that's good in there, gooseberries, like make it at the end of the summer with all the fruit, and like make kind of like a bit of a syrup from the fruit, the water, and that like soaks through the bread. Then you put it in the fridge to set and like turn it over, and then you get cut into it, and it's got like all fruit inside of it. That's well nice. I get on board with that. I mean, if they're trying to rush me because I spent too much time eating the wraps, just give me a can of rice pudding. I'll eat that shit.
I don't know whether there's a time limit on it, to be honest. I never thought, oh, is there a death row time limit on your last meal?
I presume your last meal was the day before and you got executed in the morning. Or
yeah, you'd imagine night before, yeah, and then your game's over.
Yeah, because I mean, they don't want you to shit yourself, so presumably you got to go for a shit first.
Yeah, in the suburbia toilets.
Yeah. You're feeling sick. A bit nervous about the death row. You can be sick in the urinal as well. Clog that up too. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't a very succinct answer because there's. Sorry. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
what you're washing it down with? You need a drink. You can't have that.
Drink. Just get me a really big, really tasty, like tall glass full of ice to the brim, not halfway up, not like a few cubes. That's a waste of my fucking time. To the top of like a really strong like vodka and Monster, like a Monster Mango, something like that. I'll get in that. I mean, you might as well have an alcoholic drink for the last one, get a little buzz on before you go out, right? And if there's any like crack going around, I'll take a hoof on a crack pipe because I've never smoked any crack, and I think if I'm going to die anyway, I might as well have a little go.
I'm sure we'll put that in the dessert section as well. Yeah, fuck it.
Crack's the sweet treat.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think we're done then, mate. Last chance to plug anything.
Well, yeah, check out the link tree again. Please come and have a look at our stuff. Please, I'm fucking begging you, please. Please, fucking please. I'll do fucking anything for you if you would just do that for me, please. No, check out Matt's stuff. Make sure you do. Obviously, if you're here, hopefully it's because you already have. Check out Erica Drive. Check out his solo stuff. Check out Shaped Through Fate. And please come check out A New Hope as well. If you feel like it's something you're into, jump into, onto our Facebook, leave us a comment. Even if it's horrible, you can jump into our Discord. Another Discord plug there. And have a chat with us.
Is that live now?
No, it goes live this weekend, but by the time
they're saying that, I don't know when this is going out, so yeah, it'll probably be live by the time it's going out.
I think the post for it will actually be tomorrow, so everyone can join from there who wants to. And obviously we'll be in there like playing games or whatever, just chatting most evenings. We're around doing bits and pieces, but we'll also just post stuff like demos and things in there. So if you want to see any new music we're releasing, we're going to start like giving people a bit of an advanced listen to it before it comes out, because we're small enough that no one gives a shit when we release something anyway, so we might as well get some feedback before then.
So yeah, it's the plug then.
That is the plug. Come and check out A New Hope.
Thanks for being the first one, mate. I do appreciate it. You're the first guest.
No, I'm honestly, thank you for having me on here. Hopefully it's been an interesting enough thing. Obviously, like if there's anything, beyond reason, you feel free to cut it out or just have large sections of sentences, heavily redacted things in there. But
yeah, right. Ends up being 10 minutes long.
Just a quick answer to each question, but straight away, just like cut heavily in them.
I'll take a soundbite and I'll make all the questions yes or no.
Do that now, please. Hold on a second. Yes. No. There you go. You got nice two clear ones.
Perfect. That's all I need.
I need. Happy to be on. I'm looking forward to hearing it. And if you send me the link through when it comes out, I'll bang it out through the New Hope page, obviously as well. So we can,
good.
Obviously only like 5k people following it, but it's still good to see if we get a couple of clicks through. That'll help.
Yeah. And I will see you in August.
You will. I hope the game goes well for you guys today, and I hope you get promoted, mate.
Oh, keep an eye on it, mate. 5 o'clock, I'm going to be paralytic, running around literally with Travers with no clothes on. So, all right, mate. You take it easy.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Speak to you.
See you later, mate. Bye.